Yeah, I parent.
No, I don't.
No.
No, I don't.
Yes, I pay rent.
No, I do not.
It's quite on the high side, but I would say that it's because of some external factors. But that's quite understandable, but I would say it's on the high side.
Currently, to get a good house is somehow tough. And I will say that the supply and the demand are not on an equilibrium level because the demand is way higher than the supply. So the numbers of people who need house or who requires housing, it's way above the available house currently.
They are quite high generally from a more general perspective. Prices are quite high, demand is higher than supply, so the price is high.
Where every adult can comfortably pay their house rent without it affecting their other source of their other daily or monthly income, where they don't have to borrow or stretch.
Affordable housing deals with being able to pay for a housing space and still be able to afford other essentials without sacrificing things that you may need while still living in that house.
If the tenant has enough money left over for him to cover the other expenses.
It's a situation where you can pay for a house without it having significant impact on your income. For instance, probably 30 to 40%. You can even do 80-20 principle. If your rent should not take up to 20% of your monthly income, that'll be fine. So I consider that as affordable housing. When you don't have to make serious sacrifices to be able to afford a house, you can still attend to other parts of your life comfortably.
Affordable housing means my income, my monthly income, my 2-month salary or 3-month salary should be able to get me a good house. If I mean good house, the structure, considering the structural integrity of the building, the environment the house is situated, and the structure entirely should be homely, should be conducive, should be able to protect me. So yeah, so that's what I consider to be affordable. My income, my 3-month income should be able to cover for my rent comfortably. Yeah,
I'm able to pay for a mortgage without borrowing to do that. I'm able to afford to pay my house rent or to buy a house. For me, the minimum wage, 30% of the minimum wage is what I consider the minimum requirement, if that's the word, for someone to pay for a house.
There's no particular figure currently in my head, but what I believe is that different location determines different amounts. But generally, on the scale of 100, I think the rent should not be more than 30% of your monthly income. So that is going to be affordable.
I think 80,000 to 120,000 for a self-contained apartment.
Someone's 3-month salary should be able to cover their rent comfortably without headache. But with the current reality on ground, somebody earning 70,000 naira, his 3-month salary should be 210k. And a copper can't get a self-contained in Abuja today for 210,000. If I mean Abuja, from Karo to Lugbe, from Lugbe to Gwagwalada, from Gwagwalada to Kubwa, from Kubwa to Papi, 210,000 naira self-contained is not visible. And if eventually you get that, be rest assured the building is not safe. The building is dilapidated. There's no water. The security. It's not just visible. So yes.
So it depends on what is considered affordable. It depends because there are different income brackets, and you don't want to go outside of income brackets to find a house outside of income bracket. That would be suicidal. So, the minimum wage is 70k. So let's say average spending for housing should be like, let's say 75 to 100 a month for a room. 2 rooms, 3 rooms should then be going to 150 per month. But you don't want to go outside of your income bracket. Looking for houses outside of your income bracket. So that solves it.
I believe there are external factors that affect housing. Cost of materials. I know if I'm spending money to what it cost last year to build a house and what it costs to build a house this year is different. I would say they are like night and day, right? So this means that if there are structures to make cost of production, if that's the word, to come down, I believe that when these external factors come to favor the people that build these houses, they are able to make housing affordable. Because as a businessman, I want to make profit. You don't expect me to spend, for example, in building a house in Abuja, you're spending hundreds of millions, and you expect me to give you at a minimum wage level. Do you understand? It's quite injustice to me. So it's such that the external factors that manage the industry makes it easy for people that build houses to build and also to make profits. So the people that are buying can buy at a cheaper rate.
Government has launched this Renew Hope housing initiative, but I don't think it's popular to citizens. So what I feel they should do more is to publicize this initiative for people to have an idea of what it is and how they can benefit from it.
We can still tap into a more affordable, cheaper materials for different environments. Local materials that could, I read somewhere federal government is trying to use bamboo to do more cheaper houses and whatever. It's a good innovation, but this is it. Like I said earlier, we need to tap into the culture of the people, use the materials that are peculiar to that environment to create more affordable houses. This is doable. This is very, very doable. But not just saying it on the newspaper, saying, we'll build 2,000 houses and the same design across the whole geopolitical zone. At the end of the day, it's gulping in billions. And the same billions can also be used to create over 2,000 housing in one geopolitical region, and a lot of people will access these houses. I mean, even as a small household farmer should be able to afford a 2-bedroom flat if government really want to do these things, because we've seen it in other parts of the world where the government is deliberate about these things. The government invests largely into the people and ensuring that, okay, this is done, and with the minimum or the little resources they have, and they were able to achieve it. Take a look at Singapore. I was reading about Singapore some 2 weeks ago, how they all started. When they were leaving Malaysia, they had no water, they have no building, they have no structure, nothing. And the leader decided to, let's start one step at a time. And they were able to achieve it today. And the per capita of Singapore is way higher than that of Nigeria. And because they were deliberate about it. They don't just wake up and use blanket statement like, we'll do this, we'll do that. It's in the pipeline, and they are not. We're not tapping into what should be, especially like I said earlier, utilizing the local materials, building things that are peculiar to using structures that are peculiar to the environment, to the people, and that is culturally acceptable to these people. Yeah. So that is my own take on the building policy and structure and how government can do better.
I think one needs to change is there needs to be regulation for Nigerians living safe and affordable homes. The first part is safe. For instance, I have people at do that it's not safe at all. A student area is not safe. They come here, they steal, they injure students, loot from them. That is safe aspect. Then the affordable aspect, government has to create an agency or a body, whether it should be government regulated, because a lot of houses, a lot of landlords, they increase rent, they just do it anyhow, they just leave it anyhow. So I truly believe that if the government could intervene in that, it's a system where it could be regulated, rent could be regulated, I think Nigerians would be able to afford affordable housing if government regulates the prices.